What do you know about cervical cancer? So, I'm here to talk about the signs and symptoms that you may, as I said, you may experience if you do have cervical cancer. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For those who are new, thank you for choosing this platform. For those who are long time day supporters, thank you so much for the love and the support. So guys, today I'm here to talk about cervical cancer. So for the ladies, listen, your yearly pap smear is very important. And for those who, um they are predisposed, especially when it comes on to genetics, like person in your family, they are, person in the family that may have cervical cancer, it's a must, you have to do your yearly pap smear, people. So here's a picture of what it actually looks like. Ladies, it is very important. Alright, so when I go out and do no book no appointments and do no yearly pap smear because it's very important. And if you know you can catch it from an early stage, it will be beneficial to you. So go and do your yearly pap smear. Alright, what is cervical cancer? Alright, cervical cancer, it's cancer of the cervix. So basically where the baby develops, alright. In that little section there you have the cervix, right? So how does cervical cancer occurs? It occurs because of a virus called the human papilloma virus. So how do you get human papilloma virus? Sometimes it's because of the amount of pregnancies that you do have. It can be because of you having numerous sexual partners. So ladies, you have to be careful of who you have sex with, right? So if is a case where, because life do happen and sometimes you end up in a situation where we never really know say that go happen. So if you can take the necessary precaution of protecting yourself by using a condom, it would be very, very good for you. And for the young ladies them, right, when them things say man I got done and all sort of something, right? And if them not get them not experience a good, if they don't experience like the little man and woman thing, like the way like a tumble down, no. Listen, if you can't wait until you're old enough you can handle adult things, then wait. Nobody rush and say, oh, because my friend I do this and my friend I do that. No, don't do that, right? It can cost your life too. So it can be sometimes because of the amount of sexual partners that we have, and because we're not using no protection and all of them something there, we can get exposed to it over a period of time, right? It can occurs because we are already exposed to certain infections, and sometimes we get the yeast infection, the bacterial infection, right? We don't realize that we need to get it treated ASAP. You have some people with them habits, right? Yeast infection and all sorts of infection you may have, they may sit down with it. And sometimes why persons sit down with the condition of them have is because they are afraid of being scrutinized, they are afraid of being judged by other persons and all sorts of something. Listen, I always tell people this, right? Whether you have this or whether you have that, your health is in your hand, not somebody else's. So you need to do what you have to do to take care of your health, and your health comes first, and your health is very important, right? So people, if you don't know you don't have certain things, go out there, go to the doctor and make an appointment. And if you can't go to the extent of not doing certain things, it would be good for you as best as possible and protect on yourself, because it fail to not cause a headache or not cause by yourself. So do the necessary stuff, people. Just do it, if because some people them afraid of doctor. Alright, so what are the signs and symptoms that you may experience? Not every female would experience the same signs and symptoms, yes, but you may have that, right? So you may have heavy menstrual bleeding, And sometimes, like, depends by your cycle, it depends on your cycle. Like sometimes when you do have heavy bleeding, we may not realize, say, you know, say something go on there, so right, it's heavy bleeding out of the norm. You know what your period flow is. So if you realize that probably you're having heavy periods on the norm, you need to get it checked out, right? Another symptoms is you may have, like, whenever you're urinating, you may have a little discomfort, so you may have a little pain. What causes pain during the urination is because there's a tumor, right? So because there's a tumor behind, in front, or wherever the urethra is alright. So here's a diagram showing what the female autonomy looks like, right? So when it comes to you urinating, you may have pain or discomfort because there's a tumor growing there. So because there's a tumor growing there, for the urine to be expelled or to come out or whatever you want to call it, you may have some form of constriction, or the urethra pressing on the tumor, so to speak. So you have a little bit of discomfort, and you may have pain. Sometimes the pain may be very excruciating, or it can be a case where you can't tolerate it, right? If the cervical cancer, like, it's out of control now and it's really dead, and for say, yeah, it is there, you may experience some pain that are very excruciating, are very painful, right? Some people they may experience weight loss, right, because they have the cervical cancer. As I say, you may not everyone may have the same signs and symptoms. You may have bleeding. Otherwise, your normal cycle, your normal menstruation cycle, you may have bleeding. So probably you may have a little spotting here and there, and you probably wonder, so, oh, it's not my time at the moment time I have bleeding. Yeah, people, you need to go and check it out. So yeah, you may have those. You may have pain during the man and woman thing, right? So if you realize that sometimes if you're having the do, you know what I'm call it already, right? And you realize that you're having pain out of the norm, yeah, we don't need to check it out. And the reason, as I mentioned, is like urinating, so to speak, and I mentioned you have the pain. So it can be a case where, right, you having sex, and because the tumor is there, right, remember when you are when the men are penetrating, right, it tends to do something like this, right? So if it's a case where the tumor is behind, right, the tumor is going to press on other organs within. So when it press on the other organs, you tend to have a little pain, probably a lot of pain, or whatever the case may be, right? So you need to go check it out. As females, people, so when you come on to cervical cancer, do not take your health for a joke, because there are so many persons who have it, or them probably gone through it already, but because it's not a thing where we do look a study pan, or it's not a thing where we are interested or intrigued. We don't really know what go on, but it is very common out there, especially. And listen, it doesn't affect black people alone, it affect both the whites, black, you name it, right? Well, when it adds, you may know when it come on to diseases and all them something there, infections, all sorts of something, is not designated to one person. So people will need to go and check out on yourself. You may have pain in the legs, right? Pain in the legs. Why this may occur too, when you come on to the tumor, it can be a case where why you have the pain in the leg. It can be a case where when you come on to the veins and the arteries, yes, those things that carry the blood through the body, right? It can be a case where the tumor can be pressing on a particular vein or a particular artery, and you don't know, right? So because it causes a little constriction meaning that the blood is it can't get to flow out to So you know, say you are going to have a little pain because you have the cervical cancer. You may feel fatigue, you may become tired, and draining because um, as I mentioned, because you may have the tumor, it prevents you from proper circulation. So because you don't have the proper circulation, is a possibility that the body is not going to get the 100% oxygen, because the blood itself would carry oxygen. So the distribution of blood is going to be poor in some parts of the body. So you may have fatigue because there's a loss decrease of blood. So people, if you're having these signs and symptoms, you need to be on the safe side. You need to go to the doctor and check upon yourself and see if you're not alright, and see if it's a case where it is occurring, you can get it stopping at the gap instead of say reach to a point where you don't have control over it, right? It's basically spread to the body, or you basically cannot be treated, right? So females, go and get your yearly test so that you can know where your health stand, right? So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to watch the ads. So guys, thank you so much for watching. See you next time in my video. Bye.